Hello everyone, my name is Tim Hansen, and today we're going to be configuring antivirus on a SonicWall Gen7 SonicOS7 Firewall. To enable the Gateway Antivirus service, we'll want to first go to the global settings for this security service, and we can find all the global settings under Policy, Security Services, and then Gateway Antivirus. And then we'll be essentially looking at three different settings. The on button to enable Gateway Antivirus, the selection of what protocols the antivirus engine is going to run against, and then whether or not to use Cloud AV. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And I'll select all protocols for inbound traffic and leave the inspecting of outbound traffic as disabled. It really is your prerogative whether to enable the outbound option or not. And then I'll enable Cloud AV to make good use of the 75 or so million antivirus signatures stored in the cloud. And there are some additional settings here under Configure. I won't go over each option, but a couple notable options here are: one, to put the AV engine into a detection-only mode. And then there's another to customize the block message clients will receive when the request is blocked by the AV engine. And then at the bottom is where we would add IP addresses or networks to the exclusion list. So I'm happy with this, so I'll go ahead and save it. And then over here under signatures, if you did want to disable specific antivirus signatures due to false positive or for testing purposes, you could do that under this section by simply searching and toggling the appropriate signature to the off position. Okay, so once the service is enabled under the global settings, we want to go next and decide which zones the Gateway Antivirus is going to inspect traffic for. So let's head over to Object, Match Objects, and Zones. And we can see Gateway Antivirus is enabled by default for the LAN and WAN zones, which is good. So when you enable it for a specific zone, what this means is essentially any inbound or outbound traffic to and from that zone will get inspected by the antivirus engine, assuming you've enabled inbound and outbound inspection under the global settings, of course. Okay, and at this point, antivirus is enabled and should be inspecting traffic on the zones you specified. However, what do you do if you have select traffic you want to exclude from being inspected by the antivirus engine? So similar to the Gen 6 or the Gen 6.5 SonicOS firmware, we can disable DPI on a per rule basis. So if we do have traffic we don't want to apply the AV engine as well as the IPS and anti-spyware engines to, we can make that exclusion or that exception under the traffic's appropriate access rule. So if I go under policy and access rules, let's say I want to not run DPI against a random rule here, which is for audio on my Ring Central meetings on my home firewall, which, similar to SIP traffic, is sensitive to any latency. If I open the rule or edit the rule and then go under security profiles, I can tick off the DPI option here, and then any traffic hitting this access rule will be excluded from those AV, IPS, and anti-spyware engines. Okay, and that is pretty much it for setting up antivirus. It's pretty straightforward. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.